Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I'm in Beverly Hills, California, and I am at David Rivera's Monetized Talks. Let me tell you, I missed maybe the last one or two. I know I had a gig in Vegas for our show, the Las Vegas live show, and then I was in Miami for another gig. Poor me, I know. Okay, it's okay. But seriously, I love coming to David Rivera's event every month in Beverly Hills. This is one of my favorite events. He brings together amazing speakers, amazing stories, amazing companies, and I'm telling you, if you haven't been to one of these yet, go to monetizedtalks.com, and you really need to pick up a ticket and be at next month. He does this once a month, and my guest today that I was able to snag is the keynote for today. His name is Erik Rock, and he is founder and CEO of The Mission Project, and he's also host of The Mission Project podcast, which, let me tell you, this changed up a little bit from some former branding, which I'm happy that we have the scoop, and I'm first to get this that I think of. Erik, welcome.
Thank you, brother.
Man, it's good to see you. Erik, man, so I'm glad to have another podcaster on here, but before we get into all of that, I want to get into David Rivera, the event. Have you been to one of these in the past? Is this your first time? Like how did all that come together?
Well, I've known David through the internet for a while, but then he came to our event in Malibu, and so he invited me to speak here. So
Malibu event, talk to me about that. I don't know if I got that invite, but it's cool.
All of LA got it, but we did a year anniversary for the Pacific Palisades fire, Altadena fire that devastated those communities. So we did a really special event, benefit concert, and we celebrated the heroes that stepped up through that tragic event a year ago.
How'd that, what does it take to, I'm trying to wrap my head around what it takes to put together something that big, like that type of an event, and just pull it up. How'd that come about?
Well, I started small, obviously, but I really found a purpose inside the mission of stepping in light, and slowly but surely my story became really the most profound thing that I battled with out in the light, and it just led naturally to events. I kind of came out of the shadows of entrepreneurship. Ed Milet was the mentor that really pulled me in the light, so I had some really great leadership that challenged me with my story, and one that I had never told the world. And as I stepped in the lights, more and more I bought into the idea of personal brand, and I think at some point my story and my why became bigger than my insecurities. So stepping in the light became really a destiny of mine.
Dang.
And events was an incredible way to bring community together and to really shed that light on powerful topics. And so we go after things inside the power of mission that matter. Sex trafficking, innocence, Make-A-Wish. We partner with different foundations.
Yeah.
But this was the first event we've ever done where there was a natural disaster, and trying to bring hope to these communities that have been devastated was the goal.
Dang. What, the Mission Project, the name, the impetus for the company, where'd that come from?
Yeah, when I started stepping in the light, it's kind of the best way I could describe it. It was kind of divine in how Man on a Mission all started, because I felt like my entire adult life.
I love that you said it's divine, by the way, because all this stuff is my 100%. Original brand was called Money Matters, and I was in finance, and it's divine that it changed to Mission Matters. Literally, I'm on a show, and the person's like, Adam, money matters, but mission matters too. And I'm telling you, it's like God hit me in the stomach.
That's good.
Can't even. I've already did 1,500 plus interviews on that platform. Had an entire audience, published books, fully functioning media company, and we stopped it on a dime to turn it to Mission Matters. So I love that you said Amazing. Divine.
Yeah,
I speak to that.
I resonate too.
Please, yeah.
Well, so much of my life was driven by business, thinking that if I could keep pursuing success, that it would fill some void that I've been filling my whole life. And I think when I started stepping light is when I realized I have no purpose. I've always been running from something, never towards anything. And so the brand that developed around me was me trying to find a purpose and a mission. And just being in the knowledge that I didn't have one, it kind of started leading me to the truth that would one day set me free.
Dang. So I'm always curious on this part, because for me it didn't quite happen that way. I was building a company, some other things happened, and I felt that pull. And I feel like for you there was a transition you mentioned where it was going from entrepreneur to this piece of it. Still an entrepreneur, but I mean changing to this piece of it.
Yeah, I hit in the business.
How did you know that it was going to be a business and not just a passion project on the side? How did you know?
Well, I didn't know at first.
Yeah.
At first I called it a passion project.
Okay.
And I had a great mentor that said, if you keep calling it that, it's never going to scale and impact the way it could.
Dang, shout out to that mentor. What's the first name? Just throw out the first name. Ed. Shout out to Ed, man. Yeah, we appreciate you and your mentorship. Please continue.
Incredible mentor, one of the best in the world. But he really challenged me to really think bigger about my life. And I was going to win through business. And the more I started surrounding myself with things that I could have never imagined, the more dreams that I built, physical, tangible dreams, the emptier I became.
Wow. So now you know you're on this mission, you have these steps. What do you do next? Like, how does that, because I'm sure it's like any entrepreneurial vision, whether it's mission-based or not, or it's just if you're selling pencils, I don't know. There's always going to be ups and downs.
There's always goals. It's always hard. Nothing's easy.
But what's next? Like, what's next for you on that?
I think one of the coolest things is when you get into a certain frequency in life, it's a rare frequency, but when you get there, number one, there's never an end game.
Yeah.
Number two, there's no outcome that I care about. I'm in the pursuit of something that I absolutely am passionate about and I love, and I found purpose in it, and I've actually found inner peace in it. So much so that like the impact that my life is now making in the world to the kid that I used to be.
Wow.
It is it's kind of set me up for death. And so this is something that like there's no outcome that you'll ever get as the reward. The process is the reward.
What does that mean? It set you up for death. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, death was the spark that actually set me down this warpath of trying to figure out what was wrong with me. I was in this spiral after my grandma died when I was 35. I'm 42 now, so 7 years ago when this whole midlife crisis started for me.
You were really close then, it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, and her death really impacted me, and but that was kind of what led me, through obsession over death. It led me to this reality that I have no purpose. Took a while, but it was a mentor that really opened me up to that, and so much of what I'd been running from that I never told the world about would be the thing that would really set me free, and that became kind of the centerpiece of my brand. That's the whole point of Man on a Mission.
Man, that's so interesting. And I feel like as you go through that, like there's different layers and things that are shown to you along the way. Like I lost my mom maybe a year and a half ago now.
Sorry.
It's totally sudden. Freaking craziest thing ever. Tornado. Those tornadoes, like 6 people passed. She was one of them. It was insane.
So
yeah, it's just one of those things. Wow. But she was a lively lady, a fiery lady. She was a social worker, and she was like, she's the life of the party. If she was here, David, she'd have been pulling him over. Come here, David.
What was her name?
Come here, Mary. Mary. And so she was a life of the party type. So she had to go out with style. I was like, you would do that, Mama. Tornado. She was in the New York Times. She was entire name it, top stories. Her dog made CNBC viral during the tornado. Like, insane. So as I've gone through that, and I'm not saying that I can empathize or understand exactly what your grandmother meant to you, but I can see how in your journey, different layers are revealed to you that you couldn't see under those lenses until that happened. Like I didn't understand the importance of this podcasting really, truly, until I was like, wow, the things that I value the most in this world are actually the recordings I have of her. Like I used to bring her on the show, so I have like 3 different times. Special. So like that's what matters to me actually. And so amazing. Now when we create today, like we're part of each other's legacy.
That's cool.
Like that's insane. This lasts way past our time on this earth. Somebody's going to hear about your grandmother, about my mother, about like these.
Yeah, they're powerful too.
And now our value in these things, like, it adds to the human psyche. Like everybody, we want to live together and be positive as a consciousness.
Yeah. So much what I do now, because I found my pathway to purpose is I try to pull purpose out of other people. And I realize how many people never reach that frequency that we talk about. That's that highest frequency that's higher than success. And I remember having dinner across the table from Michael Phelps, who, tells a story about winning 28 gold medals. More gold medals than most countries combined, and it was just powerful reflection of one of the greatest winning athletes in the history of the world.
Insane.
And after that 28th gold medal, he went home and tried to swallow a whole bottle of Xanax and kill himself.
Oh my gosh.
And so you hear this all the time of people that have everything. They've had all their dreams come true, and they're still so empty inside. There's still that trauma that has not been ever healed or spoken to. And often winning, for some people like me, became the vehicle to sort of hide my truth.
Yeah.
And when I was 21, I was convicted for 25 to life on a suspended sentence for drug trafficking. So I had this dark past that I hid from. And when I got out of that, I worked with the DA for 2 years. Business became the drug that changed my life because it was allowed me to just completely disappear and reinvent myself. Yeah. And I never looked back. But the problem is I never told my story. All that pain that led to that kid's almost killing himself, almost going to prison for his whole life. Yeah. I never thought I was ever going to need to ever tell that story. I buried it. And so for all these years, all my customers in business, all these incredible business relationships, nobody knew the truth about me. And so I had this secret that it didn't even seem like that big of a deal, later in life. But when my grandma died, that was the spark that started leading me to this place where I had no purpose, and that's where it all sort of manifested. And it was on a stage in the light that that the power of that process sort of penetrated my soul. And the truth just came out. And it was the first time, I think, in my entire life where I felt free, that I finally wasn't hiding something about my past.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. What do you bring into your, I definitely want to get into your podcast, by the way. So first, get into the rebrand of it and why, number one. But then number two, I want to get into like that spirit and what you're doing. Like, how do you bring that to your show? Because I feel like you do. I've never heard your show yet, but I already know, just based off of talking to you, like you're fired, dude. This is good.
Thank you. Well, I think everyone's got a beautiful story, and Pain to Purpose is, you know, that hero's journey, the rags to riches, whatever it is. We know that some of the greatest stories start with pain. And we really want to communicate a powerful message to the world that your circumstance does not define you. And so it's centered really in my own story of how the thing that trapped me was actually the thing that freed my soul. And I think if you can communicate to the young kid out there that's struggling, that came up in terrible circumstances, that should not define you. And you hear these incredible stories of some of the most amazing entrepreneurs out there and figure out how they tapped into that frequency that sort of led them to their purpose and their mission. So we look for mission-driven leaders in the light, and we try to attract those stories out of them. And really, they're heroes. These are all heroes. These are all people that are serving a higher calling.
How long have you been doing the show, roughly? Just roughly.
Almost 5 years.
You're doing a rebrand. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, you know, the Mission Project is kind of where my
first name.
evolved.
What was the first name?
Man on a Mission.
Man on a Mission, because depending on when this comes out, I definitely want people to check it out, but they might be looking at it. So
we have
Man
over
on a
100
Mission.
episodes with Man on a Mission. So that was where it all started. But the community that I developed, we go out and we do 4 bucket list experience events a year where we bring a mission to a community. And we try to pick a powerful cause. The next one we're going to go after is going to be sex trafficking. These are dark topics, and we do a lot of media, a lot of branding. We ripple them all across America. We had 1 billion views last year on all of our content. And so our messaging through all of our communities reaching people. And that was originally Man on a Mission as well, but I rebranded it the Mission Project. We used to meet every Thursday, and we would build these stages in these beautiful environments, and we would challenge people to do their mission talks.
Wow.
We built this huge community of leaders that we would challenge to step on a stage and tell their story, and I saw more transformation in the light. I watched more brands sort of get birthed into this incredible energy in the light, more than I could ever teach. And so I realized the power of a stage is a metaphor of where you really should land if you're ever going to be serving at your highest and best use. That why has to be more powerful than your insecurity. And I really promoted that. So I did that for a few years, and it really led me to like learning a lot about people. I realized there's so much talent trapped in people. To this day, the top 5 speeches I've ever heard came from people that nobody knows.
Insane.
Some of the most powerful stories came from people that had never told their story. And that's where I started realizing that brand, that story, that girl right there, that's $1 billion brand inside the pain of that girl's story. If you can get them to see that as a gift, all of a sudden it doesn't trap you anymore and enslave you. It becomes a gift. And now you're not a prisoner anymore to your circumstance. And I think that those are the people that change the world. Those are the people that fight evil at scale.
I ask all my podcasters this, so it might be a fair question, might not. It's like choosing between kids or what. Give me an example of an episode. Like, it doesn't have to be a quote-unquote favorite, but I do want my audience to have, I know you're dealing with real topics. Give them an example of an episode and what they can expect when they go check it out. And I know that's hard to be like one, but
Well, there's so many great stories. One of them is a dear friend of mine named Alex Donalo. He's big in real estate. He's done really well, but I knew him for years, and I didn't know his story. When we got him on the podcast, obviously by that point I'd known his story, but he actually spoke on one of my stages, and we challenged him. You can only go as high as you once been low. That was kind of the frame that we set.
And you can only go as high as you've once been low. Is that right? I just want to make sure I got it right. That
was our frame.
Come on, man. Go ahead.
And so we would challenge people that were going to have the courage to step in the light and tell their story, to tell their story. And I'd known Alex for a while, but I'd never heard this story before. And I remember sitting in the audience for the first time I heard it, and it just broke me. And I'm just in the back crying. It was such a painful story, stepping into that 16-year-old kid who was wrongly convicted of rape with his best friend. During the trial, his best friend hung himself in jail. Shoot. It was just this painful story, and he was convicted, and a few years later, he was let out after they admitted it was all a lie.
Oh, wow.
And so his story, that he held back, because it's such a shaky, taboo story almost. He thought that he was going to have to hide it for the rest of his life, and when he found the courage and the community that supported telling your truth, you could watch the journey of Alex and the power of his brand just skyrocket. I mean, the bottom line of the way he now communicates to the world, the book that came out, those stories are near to me because they were already close in my ethos. But it's always easy to interview a diamond that's already shining. I love diamonds in the rough. I love like pulling mission out of people that have a lot of potential to go perform well in life. I love impacting people that nobody knows, who are going to be the next people that fulfill the shoes of the people that we look up to. And I love to inspire that next generation. So I really put a lot of time and emphasis trying to drive stories out of people that nobody knows. At our event here in Malibu, we had an incarcerated firefighter that became one of the heroes that we honored on stage. His name's Gabriel. You should definitely interview him. An incredible story. And he sat there shaking, looking at his phone, 10 years in prison. He's on our stage now being honored as a hero.
Amazing.
And I think the first words out of his mouth were, he goes, I went from stealing, being a criminal, a thug, my whole life to now being a hero on this stage. And the whole audience was just, it was cool. But he saved a lot of lives, and he found purpose in that fire. So wherever you find it, just know that healing process, there's redemption. And that's often some of the most powerful people that ever walked this planet. Those are people who change the world.
Man, that's great, Eric. I love it. Love the platform. Love what you're doing. I got to say, when you started talking about the diamonds in the rough and this and that, in my head, I was like, wait a minute. I was interviewing a copper miner earlier in Spain. I like all the minerals over here on Mission Man. All the minerals. The rough diamonds, the copper. Give me some nickel. What goes in the battery? I'm in.
No, I love it.
The phosphate. Oh my gosh, I had that earlier this week. Bunch of miners for at Atlantic City.
You interview everybody. That's cool though. I love that.
I have 12 shows plus.
What's
a bunch of different
some of your
shows.
Most interesting interviews you've ever done?
Oh man, you mean like today? I had 1,500 plus interviews. The one today I did multiple today, but one that stuck out from today was, I wasn't joking, in Spain they have this mine that's the biggest copper and gold discovery for a new mine in Spain in 30 plus years. And it's going to be insane. And overall, if you think about like minerals, and this is specifically for a client called Deal Flow Discovery. They have a Deal Flow Discovery event, which actually is happening right now in Atlantic City at the Borgata. And so I interview a bunch of their sponsors and things like that. So yeah, that's a business one. But I do some deep stuff too. No.
Hey, if you ever need a partner in crime, I'll come rock with you. Let's go.
I know you will. We do good, man. You're good. You're great.
Mission Project, and we got Mission Matters. So I think those two things go hand in hand.
M to the third. Come on, baby.
M to the third.
Well, Eric, I know you got to do a keynote, and they're going to be getting you ready. So last thing I want you to do is look into the camera. How do people follow? How do they connect? How do they listen to the show?
Thank you.
Your whole ecosystem.
Yeah, you can just Google me if you want. There's all kinds of stuff that we do online. All my brands are on there. But Instagram is where we're most heavily activated. Real Erik Rock. At Real Erik Rock. You should be able to find me there.
Fantastic. And for everybody watching at home, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first episode and the first time you're listening to Mission Matters, I put this out every single day. It's a daily show. So we want you to hit the subscribe or follow button because we have many, many, many more great interviews coming up from all around the world, and we don't want you to miss a thing. So hit that subscribe or follow. And again, if you're in the Beverly Hills area or want to be, it's monetizedtalks.com. I'll be here next month, and want to make sure that you are as well. Go to monetizedtalks.com, pick up some tickets for next month, and thanks again, man, Eric. Oh, you rock.
Oh boy.